Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar on creating, engaging, and using mini posters with clients. This is a new kind of webinar for us. We've never done one where we teach specific steps, and I think the concept resonated with many of the people in our financial social work community because we had such a terrific response to today's webinar. So we put a lot of preparation into it, and I hope you'll get a lot out of it. So let's get going. My name is Rita Wolfson. I am the founder of the Financial Social Work Discipline and the Financial Therapy Network. So, just a little bit about financial social work because we tend to have a good percentage of new people at every one of our webinars, people who are new to financial social work but interested in the topic. So financial social work has been taught at the University of Kentucky as an online elective since 2011 by one of our graduates of the certification. And it is a class that always fills up completely. Financial social work is in the Encyclopedia of Social Work. We're also in Wikipedia, and we also have a 3-year United Way pre-post evaluation study on our website for anyone who wants to learn more. And we are featured in the brand new publication for Social Work Today among those making a difference in the world and the field of financial social work. Okay, well, I think I need to do this. So let's go ahead and get started with our first poll. We only have 3 today. Let's see. Polls. Who is in our audience? And I will launch that poll for you. Now, we only have the ability to offer 5 different choices. So if you don't fall into one of those categories, feel free, which a significant amount of you do not, go ahead and put it in the chat box and we can check on that. Okay. Sometimes I think it would be nicer to have more choices to offer, but technology is what it is. Let's see. 70+% of you have voted. I'll go ahead, I'll count it down, and we'll close the poll and take a look at it so we can keep moving along. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I will go ahead. 80% of you got in to vote, and I will share that with you. So you can see we're evenly split between human service providers and others. Let's take a look at the chat box and see if anybody shared anything else. Maybe some of you shared. No? Okay, you just wanted us to know that you are.
Excuse me, they did share. You look under the questions area, and so you see, like, some people said they're a financial coach, an educator coach, a credit counselor, housing counselor, social worker, financial coach, financial counselor, nonprofit admin, community action agency, case manager, housing services, family service worker, social worker, free tax preparation,
Well,
community action, life coach, loan officer.
Well, whatever area you work in, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks, Dorlee. Dorlee is my wonderful, wonderful colleague and friend. She's been an integral, important part of financial social work for over 4 years now, and we are always so happy. And I am so glad that she's here to share that with us. Okay, so let's keep going. Thank you so much. When we talk about money, of course, we talk about power. And the goal of all financial wellness work, the goal of those of you who are coaches, human service providers, all of us in this field, and the reason I'm sure that you're taking this valuable hour out of your workday is to learn more about how to empower clients. And sadly, we do know that it isn't the easiest thing to do. There are many obstacles along the way. And one of the most challenging obstacles that I feel is a problem. And there are many, and we won't go into all of them, but I do like to remind our community of that money disconnect. Because when we're disconnected from our money, it makes it so much easier to spend, and to spend carelessly and thoughtlessly without considering the long-term impact, without considering the time and work required to earn the money being spent. And when we're disconnected from our money, it makes it easier also to avoid thinking or dealing with it. And that's how it becomes an even more serious and bigger problem. So overcoming obstacles with a hands-on approach is how we'll be looking at this topic today of engaging clients by creating Money Mini posters. So what is a hands-on approach? Well, those of you who are new to us may not be as aware of this, but those of you who have attended our monthly webinars in the past will know that it is a financial social work approach to financial wellness. Hands-on meaning really being active and interactive, as you will see from the coming slides. So an overview of the financial social work model will demonstrate that we are all about ongoing, and it is ongoing, it's highly experiential financial education, motivation, validation, and support. Financial social work has always incorporated a hands-on approach to financial well-being. We don't just talk about it and tell it and teach it. We use interactive, introspective, and strength-based materials that work individually or with groups, and that therapists use when they practice financial therapy. That's because financial problems are about so much more than money. And so if you look at this equation, you see that it all begins with our client's relationship with money and his or her relationship with him or herself, because that relationship determines our client's financial behavior. And behavior is represented by how we earn, spend, save, share, and borrow. And it's as simple and as complicated as that financial behavior piece, in that our financial behavior actually determines our financial circumstances. So right there is where the magic happens. And so these posters can serve a really terrific way to engage and help clients with their money. So financial circumstances originate from within the money self, and your money self includes your thoughts, feelings, actions, and your attitudes with your money and with yourself. And this graphic, money is not the problem, it's our relationship with it that is the problem. And it's so true and it's so important. So we suggest using Money Mini posters in a hands-on manner to address self-awareness, confidence, acceptance, all these important pieces of self, along with behavior. And as I just pointed out to you, financial behavior is about how we earn, spend, save, share, and borrow. So we address the fact that dollars and cents don't make financial choices. That's a really important piece of it. We know that nobody likes the B word for budgets. It's estimated that between 40 and 50% of people use budgets. But the important piece is right here to understand that it is our inner money self, those thoughts, feelings, and attitudes about money that drive how we spend, share, earn, all of those pieces of behavior. So it's about making friends with your money and with your inner money self. So let's do a quick poll and then we'll get into the meat of these steps. Let's see. What do you currently use? Going to launch that. What do you currently use to talk about money issues with your clients? If it's something other than these choices, you can go ahead and share your answers under questions, and maybe Dorlee can share those with the rest of us. Okay. Very interesting. We definitely have a leading category here. About 60% of you have voted. Let's go ahead. Dorlee, are people sharing under questions? Well,
Yes.
What are you saying? I'll go ahead and close this, actually.
People are saying daily spending diary, combination of all of the above, company tools. We use the special money management software, budget and conversation, a combination of games and a host of powerful open-ended questions. All of the above, coach model, motivational interviewing, your money, your goals, metaphors for spending and savings, combination budget assessment. I also use climber cards, combination of the above. So it sounds like a combination of different tools. And someone also mentioned Money Smart and a financial wheel.
So, as we all know, there are many ways to interact with clients, but I'm going to guess that the reason you're here is either the ones you have aren't serving the purpose you want, or you're just looking for additional tools. And that makes a lot of sense too. So let's see. So how does this hands-on approach that I'm talking about, what does it actually do? And actually the question would be then, so why are we having this webinar today? And it's because I really just am so committed to the hands-on approach because it engages clients more readily and it reconnects clients to their money, which I talked about early on as a very major obstacle when clients or when any of us are disconnected from our money. It helps clients feel more positive about money and it helps them take control of their money and their lives. They inspire change, they create greater money consciousness, and they increase awareness of financial behavior. So those are a lot of goals, but I believe that the hands-on approach is the way to achieve them. So Money Mini posters provide that hands-on approach because they are a tool for engaging clients in the financial wellness process. That engagement piece, wherever I speak and whenever I'm on the phone with workers, staff, all of those of you who are joining us today, I hear how difficult and challenging it can be to engage clients and also to keep clients engaged. So they are both big obstacles. But the mini posters and as a hands-on tool really meet a lot of the criteria for success. So the mini posters provide a financial lesson presented in an attractive storybook manner. They are colorful, attractive and visual, educational and motivational, because 90% of information transmitted to the brain is visual, and that's an important component of it. Also, 40% of people respond better to visual information than they do to text. I would imagine also that this percentage keeps increasing because so many people spend so much time online. Now, I just love this graphic, and I had to share it with you. There's one other one I absolutely had to share too. So I talk here about why the mini posters work. And mostly you can see how graphics pull you in. The fact that only 28% of words read, of words in text are read, but through color and pictures, 80% of materials are more likely to be read. And there's just 5 times more information. There's so much information coming at us, and that's why what makes these such a great tool. And so when we're talking about a hands-on approach, this has always been one of my favorite quotes. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. Again, hands-on approach involving your clients. And this is the other graphic I told you I just had to share. Is that not fabulous how they put those hands together to form the brain? Brains are wired through hands-on interaction with the physical world. So let's get into this. 8 characteristics of Money Mini posters, what you need to know to create them. I'll go through them, and then I think I do. I have the 8 listed all together at the end. So if you want to review them, you'll have that opportunity. So characteristic number 1, a Money Mini poster should be simple to understand. We want to simplify this process for our work with our clients. Characteristic number 2, these posters need to have a combination of graphics and text. It's that combination that makes it work based on what we read earlier on about how much more people absorb and how much more interesting it is when there's color and graphics, not straight text. And so the process needs to be interactive. That's an important component of the hands-on approach. It needs to be introspective. This is how we learn. We're not standing in this example here of the posters and the hands-on approach. We don't want to stand, and the quote I just shared with you from Ben Franklin, it's how we learn, by interaction, by being involved. And when you're involved, it's about making it about yourself. Obviously, in our culture, we focus on the fact that we need to take care of others and things should be about other people, not just about ourselves, but helping clients to relate the money materials that we're trying to share with them, the concepts we're trying to teach them. They don't need to know how it impacts us or people they know or their family. They need to understand what it means to them, what the value in it is to them. So introspective is an important piece of it. And in a little bit, we'll be looking at how you can use, we have suggestions for using Money Mini posters. And so I think I went the wrong way. Yes. They have to be action oriented. Action meaning the interaction between you and your client, but also that the client is focusing on what the materials are and how it can benefit him or her, and how he can use those materials. That's what action-oriented refers to. I keep wanting to use that mouse, and I have to use the down arrow. Okay, results focused. Obviously, we want all of the work we do with clients to have an impact on their lives, on their finances, to help them improve their financial well-being. We don't know when that can happen, but you'll see as we get further into these mini posters how and why they can serve that purpose that perhaps nothing else does. So results focused. We want to help clients change their financial behavior through the use of mini posters. I keep doing that. I am going to hide that mouse. There you go. Commitment based. The interaction that we have with the client by discussing the mini poster, by having the text and the graphics, by asking questions, which will be part of the suggestions we give you in a few minutes, help you to learn from your client what he or she is thinking and what he or she is ready to make the commitment to do. And that's a really powerful piece. Finally, characteristic 8. We want to help clients strive to reconnect to their money through active doing rather than passive learning. Our whole certification is created on using the transformative model so that we transform behaviors. We don't just tell people what to do. We help them change their thoughts, feelings, and attitudes in a positive way. Okay, so there's the list of 8. I'll just leave that up there for a moment in case you missed any of those, because we have a couple of lists. I think we have one with an additional 10 for how to use them. And I think we have one coming up with another 6 steps. Let's take a look. Yes. All right. So here are your 6 initial steps to creating your money mini poster. The most important thing, well, one of the most important things is your topic. So yes, it should be a topic you're passionate about. And it's probably helpful if it's a topic that you're knowledgeable about. But of course, gathering information, which I believe is step number 2, is something that you can certainly do. But you do need to decide, what is your topic, and stick with that topic. You can begin with an outline as you, step number 2, gather your information. And I'm sure I don't have to talk about all the places you can gather your information. And conceivably, you could take that information from other resources that you might use with clients, but creating something different that is new to you and to your client. So step number 3, identify the most important points that clients will need to learn and know. And you need to take your time there, because all of those topics that we're trying to use and teach to clients, there's a lot to know. And as if that weren't enough, one thing about money, it's very fluid. And I don't mean just because it's always going out and rarely coming in. It's the fact that things with money are always changing. So the best advice would be to, really stick to the basics when determining the most important points that you want your client to get from this mini poster. Step number 4, of course, you now need to find the graphics to illustrate those key points. So right here, you can see a blog that I found for the 15 best websites to download stock art. There is Google Images. Many of you may know about them. You do need to remember to credit any artist and to watch out for copyrights and not use materials that you shouldn't, because you'd be surprised how easy it is for people to find you if you're using something that you shouldn't be. Step number 5, decide whether your money mini poster, do you need just one site to develop this concept, or do you need 2 sides to fully create something that's going to make a lot of sense to your client, stick with your client. And number 6 is to combine the graphics and the text into your mini poster. So those are the 6 steps, the basic initial first steps. So I did make a list of these 6. If you want to take a moment. Okay, so let's really see, what does all of this look like? This is an example of one of the Center for Financial Social Work's mini posters, money mini posters. So you can see that we created a front and a back with graphics and text. So once you have your money mini poster, what are the steps to using it successfully to make a difference in your client's life? By the way, if you have questions, we do always save time at the end to answer them. You can put them into the question box. So, preparing to use a money mini poster. You really need to be very familiar with the topic, really familiar with it, able to talk about it without the poster, although referring to the poster as you go through the materials with the client is very important. And of course, the same is true for the content of the poster. You want to have one copy of the poster for yourself and one copy to share with your client. Well, to give to your client. You aren't sharing it. The client has a copy and you have a copy. That's an important piece of this process. Again, encourage your client to take notes right on the money mini poster. This will help your client to remember what he or she was thinking during the process and any key points that you might make that are additional to the points on the poster, and have a pencil the client can use to take notes, because not all clients will be expecting to need a pencil or prepared with a pencil or for this type of work with you. Prepare a story that relates to the subject matter in some way. This is an excellent way to introduce this to your client. And it can be the same story or a different story based on what you know about your client, because it allows you to engage with your clients where he or she is, not where your previous or following client is, and not based on where we want the client to be, but based on where he or she is. Take your time discussing the various components of the mini poster. It's easy enough to go straight through it, point. But we want to know what the client is thinking as he or she is listening to you, reading the materials, hearing the story, processing everything, because we want it to be commitment and action based. So we want a lot of different things going on. So we can take our time using the Money Mini poster. Ask questions. Ask questions about the material specifically, about what the client is thinking about this. How is the client seeing this as a value that could help him or her? Can the client relate to it? Can the client give you an experience based on all of this? So asking questions is a great way to engage your client in the process, this hands-on process. Consider the best way to help clients personalize it to their own circumstances. And hopefully it brought a smile to your face to see this picture, but it's really a strong quote also, because personalization is speaking to who the client is and how they engage and what they care about, really care about. Encourage your client to refer to the Money Mini poster often in order to remember what she or he is learning or did learn today. And another interactive component would be to consider giving a follow-up assignment, asking the client to come prepared to discuss some piece of it or with an action the client took as a result of this. And I'm not sure why this isn't here, but you absolutely want your client to take home the Money Mini poster, to have it to refer to and to work on and to remember the lesson. So the summary of this work, the hands-on method using the Money Mini posters, is to provide information plus interaction plus introspection plus personalization plus action and commitment. This provides a hands-on experience that reconnects clients to their money. It provides you with all of the opportunities that I just described to really interact with your client around an important topic that can lead to, just as the goal for all financial social work is financial behavioral change, but it can help you in your work with your client, because until and unless financial behavior changes, nothing really changes. That includes the work we do with clients about creating that budget, because even if clients start out strong on a budget, which isn't often the case, that will drop off over time. statistically. So, poll number 3. Do you feel ready to create your own money mini poster? Let's see if I can get this up. Well, I see I forgot to add no, not at all, but I will admit that we must have done a pretty good job, Dorley. I think people feel pretty prepared, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
If you want to share other thoughts, or if you don't feel prepared and you want to put it in the question box, you can do that too. Okay, so almost 75% of you have voted, so I'm going to go ahead and close this and share it with you. And
Someone commented that this process will be helpful in terms of focusing on goals.
that's pretty good. I like that idea. Yes. Well, I think it's a really good point, and I appreciate that feedback a lot. But I think it could be applicable, to any number of different approaches. And so I'm glad that so many people feel that, they got a lot out of this webinar. And for let's hide that. Anyone who doesn't feel that way, I'm going to tell you that we now offer mini posters. And that's what prompted me to think about sharing with you how you can create them, because I am not going to minimize the amount of time and effort and work that goes into them, but I am going to say that those of you, there were 20-some% of you who felt that you could create your own, and that's the idea behind this webinar. But for those of you who don't have the time or might be reluctant to do so, we've started out with 6 double-sided posters, and they cover emotional spending triggers and strategies, credit score basics, financial profiling, healing your relationship with money. And I know you can all read. Whoever mentioned goal setting, you can see that we have one on financial goal setting on one side, and I believe the other side is financial self-care. So we've done that, and I think you'll agree they're very attractive. And we have this special introductory offer of $50 for the set of 6. So they're downloadable, reproducible, double-sided, all of them. So I think they're a great tool that everyone can benefit from. And you can make as many as you want. You can see there's space for clients to write on them. You can do a lot of wonderful things with them. And it totally goes along with the concepts, all of the concepts in the work and approaches of financial social work. So that introductory offer is good through the end of September. And if you have questions, I am so glad that I made this slide. I forgot. You can, let's see, where is it? You should have a heading in that rectangular box. Yes, Doily.
Yeah, it's labeled handouts.
Right.
So if you click on that little arrow that says handouts, you'll then see your free financial profiling mini poster handout that you can download, as well as the instructions that go along with that.
And so this is, you're looking at right now, that free sample that we are giving to everyone today. And we're glad that you joined us to get it. Everyone would, of course, be familiar with what determines your credit score, but financial profiling is a concept that I created, and it refers to the fact that we are all profiled by our credit score. There are jobs that people with poor credit scores can't get. There are professions people with poor credit scores can't work in, and so many other ways that people suffer when they have a poor credit score. And I have always felt for the longest time that that is financial profiling, because that's what profiling is, and this is the way it's done financially. So that is what that concept is all about. You may not know it, but when servicemen and women have financial problems, they cannot be sent in to fight because of the recognition that the stress of financial problems holds contributes to many problems, and the services do not want people trying to do their work under those circumstances. So that's your giveaway today. And this is our contact information if you want it. And I'm going to go ahead and leave this up here right now. Dorlee, do we have any questions? We usually have a lot because we have a very...
Yeah. So one person is saying that they feel like they need more specific information about determining a topic.
If they would want to elaborate on that, I'm happy to. I mean, if you're working with clients around money, financial problems, financial issues, I think that the topics are, they can be very traditional. You could certainly do one on budgets. We call it a personal spending and savings plan in our certification, but you can see what we did. Let me go ahead back up here a minute. What we did with our topics is offer some less traditional, emotional spending triggers and strategies. That may not be a topic that you traditionally work with your clients on, but it is a very important one that makes a difference to financial behavior, how you spend, save, share, earn, and borrow. Spending triggers, very important. So you've got the credit score basics and financial profiling, healing your relationship with your money, readiness to change and commitment to change. These aren't topics that you would traditionally find in the materials that all of you talked about using. Positive thinking, connecting with your inner money self, conversations with your inner money self, feminomics, the gender of money, the fact that women earn less, and the face of poverty is a woman's face. But you could do all kinds of things, from How about some people suggesting some topics? Anything from, um, your more traditional topics, net worth, budgeting. What else, Dorley? I'm blocking because I'm so focused on our own topics. Um, uh,
I think it will naturally be generated by whatever issues are coming up for one's particular clients.
money, couples in money. We did a webinar on that last month with a great response. So yes, I think that's a good point, Orly. Uh, we all know how much material there is today on financial capability, financial literacy, financial education, and we prefer financial well-being because it's a more positive and holistic concept. Any other questions, Dorley?
Yes. Okay, so one person is asking whether they can share the free financial profiling mini poster with their clients.
Well, Dorley, that's something I didn't think about. Well, we gave it to you, so I guess the answer is yes. Right? Right. And
Okay.
it could provide a good example to you, actually, of how beautifully these work with clients. Yes, answer
And
is
why
yes.
you'd want to go ahead and buy the whole set so that you'd have additional wonderful tools to work with your clients. Absolutely. One person's struggling with downloading the PDF for some reason. I'd suggest you email Rita at financialsocialwork.com, and she'll be able to email you directly a copy.
It's
Uh,
REETA at financialsocialwork.com. I hope nobody else is having that problem. I know I did it right. And don't forget the instructions, because the instructions also include like the backstory that you would want to use with each of ours comes with instructions and a backstory to make it really very user friendly, client friendly, make it work for you. Go ahead.
um, One person's asking if you can put your contact information back up.
Yeah. Okay. There. Oh, please
Someone
tell me
said
we're not going to get 500 emails. Can a few of you just put in the question
it was
box?
just one person. It was just one person who complained about not being able to download.
Okay, I hope that's all. Go ahead.
One excellent webinar, 3 exclamation points.
Oh,
Um,
that's so nice. Thank you. You'd be surprised. We don't always get that kind of feedback. So that's appreciated. And also because this was the first time we ever tried to actually teach something in this manner. So thank you.
Someone saying here, I find that focusing and organizing helps as one of the first steps.
Great. Yes, definitely. That's good.
Good topic. The cost of waiting to save compounding interest. Oh, I guess this person is
Yes.
proposing a topic. Yes.
And isn't that a great one? That's a great one. It really is. It really is. Oh, you suggested it. That made me think of another one. Uh, all right, I'll come up with it. That's a good one.
The reverse. How about the cost of debt? I mean, just how quickly it grows.
Unfortunately. And so the question is, would you rather make it work for you instead of how it works against you? Yes, good idea. Definitely.
Are we able to obtain a copy of the presentation? I guess they didn't hear your explanation at the beginning.
We don't share any of our decks. Mostly this year and next year, we had a lot of wonderful guest speakers. And if next month, actually, we have a great guest speaker on elder abuse, elder financial abuse. And I think he has some handouts too. But we don't share the decks. They're all proprietary. But we share the recording. So you'll probably receive the recording via email next week towards the beginning of the week, and you can watch it again and review all the steps. And I hope that will be helpful.
How do the mini posters work with Financial Social Work's other materials?
Well, all of Financial Social Work's materials are interactive, introspective, hands-on. We don't, the certification, we're talking about the certification here and our client program. We don't tell anybody what to do. We have them through the process of answering questions and thinking about the various concepts and the topics that are involved, uh, identify their own thoughts, feelings, and attitudes about money. Part of that process is going back to childhood and how and when and where and why you learned about money, and evaluating how well that serves you now, because many of us, it's very easy to get stuck around money and around a lot of other things in our lives for sure. But that's that's all involved and our graduates after completing the program can use all of those. They're all original materials. They can use all of them one-on-one with their clients. So this is kind of an outgrowth of our certification tools.
So in other words, they can be used either together as part of the materials or totally standalone.
Right, exactly. Thanks.
Okay. Which of the 6 downloads are included in the packet?
All of them. They're double-sided, so you can see this one is double-sided. And let's see. So emotional triggers and strategies for coping with those emotional triggers are front and back. The one you're getting is credit score basics and financial profiling. That's a free one. Healing your relationship with your money and readiness to change and commitment to change. That's one. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dora. Setting financial boundaries, I believe, is front and back. And that's a really, really, really important one that I've recognized for a long time, particularly when working with low income families. That gets a lot of people, but not even in domestic violence. That's a very big problem and issue. Financial goal setting and financial self-care. Do you remember, Dor?
No, I mean I'd have to go back and look at the ones on my. You want me to open them?
It's okay, I think. Feminomics is front and back. It's all about the gender of money because of the fact that women earn less, they live longer, and so many women, the older you get, the more likely you are as a woman to live in poverty.
I have it open now.
Okay.
So the financial boundaries, right, on the front page is financial boundaries, and on the back it's financial goal setting.
Okay.
The financial profiling, well, that we already know. The emotional spending, we have emotional spending triggers and strategies on one side, and then we have external spending triggers and strategies on the other side. We have financial self-care on one side, and then we have positive thinking on the other side. The feminomics, we have the gender of money, and then we basically go into more detail on the other side.
It's probably connecting with your inner money self and
No, that's another one.
Yeah.
With your inner money self is the next one. And then we go on to the 4 steps to connect to your inner money self on the back.
Again, we chose those because they're less traditional, but so much more important than most of the work people do with clients, because this is foundational. This is what helps clients recognize the need for financial behavioral change, to be more accepting of themselves and more positive about their relationship with their money. It provides this insight and understanding that a straight up budget or compound interest or net worth, none of those things, clients can't really relate to those until they can relate to their inner money self, to be more accepting of their financial situation and more hopeful about their financial future. And so this lays that foundation for the dollar and cents part of money. I think it's really, we could have started with a lot of more traditional topics, but these will make a difference. I promise you that. Anything else?
Yes. Do we order the $50 money mini posters from financialsocialwork.com?
Yes, you can go right to the website right now, and where you see $75 on my screen, it now says $50 for a limited time only. You can purchase them through the 30th.
So someone's asking, are we allowed to put a label on the poster saying provided by and insert their name?
Honestly, that was an idea I had. I would think that's a good idea myself. I really do. I You're the agency that's providing it. We have our copyright on it, but you are providing it. I think it's a good PR piece and a good tool for clients to have. And if they share it with someone they know or love, maybe, we help people exponentially. And it's always about planting seeds. You give this to your client. With our client program, it works the same way. You can, for one low fee, it's more than this, but you can download all 5 workbooks of our client program and reproduce them as many times as you want. And we did that. Originally they were like $100 a workbook, but we did that because we know agencies don't have that kind of money. And this way, you can share them and use them, and that's the point of it. It's a lot of the whole financial boundaries, I created those. I created Feminomics. Those materials don't. I do this work because I want to help change people's lives. So me keeping them to myself isn't very helpful. Many of them will be in the book that I'm trying to finish because it's past deadline, but we want to share these. We want agencies to benefit from it, and we want clients to benefit from it. And if you want to make your own, we have provided you that information to do it. So I think it's win-win. I hope so. But of course, we would love you to purchase these. Dorley was a really integral part of helping to create them, and we're proud of them. And we'd love your feedback. We would love to hear your experiences using them or even using your own. Anything else, Steve?
Are there other similar webinars that have been recorded that we would be able to view?
All of our webinars are on our Financial Social Work YouTube channel, although I don't really know how to get you there other than to tell you our model, as I talked about early on, is about ongoing interactive financial education, motivation, validation, and support. And the way we do that is every day on Facebook, we post something motivational every day. We know how important motivation is to helping people feel positive and hopeful. So on our financial social work, I think it's Financial MSW on Facebook, there is a big red square that says recordings. And there are a lot of recordings of our past webinars. And there are some great ones. We had that one on couples last month. We had the one, I think, two or 3 months ago on kids and money, where they shared fabulous materials. So you can absolutely access all of those.
I also just emailed everyone a link to your YouTube channel.
Oh my God, you are awesome.
Okay, you have many. Thank you very much. This is very informative, very useful information, very informative. I think making it personal for the clients will help tremendously. Which program do you use to organize the posters?
Dorley, that would be, what's the name of that program?
I made them on Pictochart. Okay, and thank you because I entered the webinar late. Is there anyone in Canada producing such financial information from Canadian policy, legal, financial perspectives?
I can't answer that. We do have a number of graduates in Canada, and all of these topics would be, other than perhaps, I don't know if the FICO score works the same way in Canada, though I'm guessing that it does. But because these topics are foundational, they're going to be the same wherever you are. I've been invited to Hong Kong to go there and bring financial social work there. And these concepts will definitely be part of it. That's what makes financial social work, and that's what contributes to sustainable long-term financial behavioral change, which is our mission.
If we decide to purchase the mini posters pack later, how do we do that?
If you go to our website, I don't know. Give me a second.
Well, essentially, you'd be going to the same, just like you could buy it now, you can buy it later.
Right.
But your advantage about buying it within the next 2 weeks is that you're going to get it at the discounted price of $50 versus $75. There'll be a tab on basically on financial social work saying
that's right,
mini posters, and then you can click on that and then purchase the mini posters. The next question: do the mini posters pack come with the financial education support group kit, or must be purchased separately?
Oh, the support kit group is something totally separate. It is our client program. And so, yes, you can make as many copies also of that as you want, but it's separate. We also have that manual for how to use that with clients individually or in support groups, in groups. So this is sort of the...
You have awesome. Thank you. It was awesome. Great information. Thank you. Very helpful.
Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here. If you were new to us today, go ahead and check out our past webinars, and we'll add you to our list, and you'll be invited directly in the future. As I said, next month is avoiding and reducing financial elder abuse. And in November, we have author April Benson speaking on stopping over shopping. So we hope to see you back here, and have a beautiful rest of the day. I'm going to end this now. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dorley.